Hello, children. Hi, how are you? I think you would have gone through the first chapter, and I had given the video as well as two videos, as well as the notes part and assignment as well. So today I'm going to give you a brief lecture on the second chapter of the book, Contemporary World Politics. And the chapter is End of Bipolarity. So we already know what is bipolarity. Bipolarity means one pole means United States of America and the other pole means Union of Soviet Socialist Republic that we also know as USSR or Soviet Union. Now in 1989, uh, the in Germany, West Germany was under USA and East Germany was under USSR, and there was a Berlin Wall. In 1989, a dramatic event took place, and the Berlin Wall was brought down, and that meant that the people didn't want to be separated, and they wanted the Germany to unify. In 1991, the world was really surprised, flabbergasted over an event, and that was the disbanding or disintegration of Soviet Union. Soviet Union, one of the strongest countries of the world, broke down in a jiffy. Nobody knew what is happening, but it happened. And in this chapter, we'll study why. Uh, since 1917, Soviet Union was able to match United States of America in arms, means military prowess, arms and ammunitions, later nuclear weapons. The Soviet Union was able to match USA, but it lagged behind. Soviet Union lagged behind in every other field. It was having an industrial setup, but that industrial setup not could never match the technological power and the science and technology R&D of USA. USA also enjoyed a very brilliant social structure. It was a democracy, liberal democracy, capitalist democracy. So were having freedom, people were having rights, people were enjoying their life, people were free to choose their profession, their lives, their residence, everything. But Soviet Union belonged to a single party system. Communism is a single party system. So all these freedoms were denied in Soviet Union. So though Soviet Union we consider as a power, but it lagged behind US when the question of citizens arrived. Means the citizens weren't happy with the Soviet system. And why they weren't happy, I'll be explaining it further as well. In 1991, there was a coup. Coup means a political revolt against the Communist Party and the Communist government of USSR. And at that time, the president of USSR was Mikhail Gorbachev. So this coup was opposed by a person who became the national hero later, Boris Yeltsin, and he also became the president after Gorbachev. Mikhail Gorbachev took the party presidentship in 1985 and he wanted to introduce some changes in the communist system. He wanted to make the communist system liberal. And thus he brought two main reforms, perestroika and glasnost, openness and reconstruction. So with this freedom, the people were burning. They were burning from inside to get freedom, to get freedom, to get freedom from red tapeism, from bureaucracy, from civil services, from very strict control, from communism is against religion, so they could not follow their religion. They could not follow what they wanted. So they wanted freedom. And at the first instance, when this freedom was in a very minuscule quantity, when it was introduced, the people could not stop, and nobody could stop them. And this brought a coup, and Soviet Union disintegrated in 1991. The first three countries who declared independence from the Soviet Union, actually, I'll tell you, the Soviet Union was a group, a federation of 15 separate republics. They had their own governments under a communist flag. Right. So Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus were three countries that announced their independence in 1991, December, that we are getting independent. And slowly, all the countries announced their independence, and the Soviet system collapsed. Some people say it was Gorbachev was responsible for this collapse, as he went very swiftly with perestroika and glasnost and freedoms. People could not digest it. Some people say the opposite, the contrary, that Gorbachev was very slow, that he could not manage the growing excitement and the tensions that were taking place in Soviet Union. So there are two views. Some people believe in the former, some people believe in the latter. I leave it on you. Uh, Now, when USSR disintegrated into 15 republics, a body was formed, and that was called Commonwealth of Independent States, or CIS. CIS is, it's still present, is the body of the 15 republics or countries that got independence from the Soviet Union. So now Soviet Union wasn't there. Now a new body came, CIS, with independent states and countries. Right. So USSR, when it broke down, the countries that wanted to remain together, still made a new federation, and that is CIS, Commonwealth of Independent States. Now, why did USSR disintegrate? It's a very, very important question. One, a very strict system where nobody could have freedom. People were fed up. Number two, a very, very strict hierarchical red tapeism or civil services where they were not answerable to the common person. Number three, the single party system. It was undemocratic. Number four, social curtailments, pressure on the people. They could not do what they liked. Everything was under state control. Number next, uh, the people didn't have freedom to pursue their religion, because communism doesn't believe in religion. Marx once said, Karl Marx, religion is an object created by the rich to exploit the poor, created by the bourgeois to exploit the proletariat, the rich owners to exploit the workers. Next, some people of Soviet Union, got to know about the democratic setup and the openness and the freedom and the technological advancements of USA and Western countries, and they wanted the same system, capitalist system, to come in their country so that they can also live in a better way. One point may be Gorbachev. The policies that were brought by Gorbachev, the policies weren't brought in it was very haphazard. So USSR ultimately disintegrated in 1991. Now, what were the consequences of this disintegration? Number one, the Cold War ended. Because the Cold War was between capitalist USA and communist USSR. Now, when USSR has become Russia, it has adopted capitalism. So there is no ideological difference or argument. So both of them now are on the same boat, sailing in the same boat. So at the end of Cold War. Number two, the world politics changed. The world from a not a multi exactly, bipolar world became a unipolar world. Now there was only one pole, USA. So USA started dictating the entire world. That was initially dictated by both USA and USSR. Number three, emergence and birth of many new states, like the 15 republics that got independence from USSR. Some of them, like Asian ones, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, and some Eastern European ones like Belarus, like Ukraine. They got independence from the USSR Federation, the Soviet Federation. So creation of new countries. The next topic is it's a very important topic, and that is known as shock therapy. Now, what is shock therapy? From 1917 to 1991, in all those years, 70, more than 70 years, people of Soviet Union had seen only one system called communism. They were suppressed. Their right to speech and expression was curtailed. Everything was under state control. And now they got freedom. And now, without any transition, without giving any time, the Western Bloc, that is USA and company, asked them to adopt capitalism. Such a accidental, such a massive transformation from one side to another side. This was a very, very, very difficult situation, and this in history, this complete transition, this uh, very difficult transition, this haphazard transition, this quick, jiffy transition in the countries that got independence from USSR, from communism to capitalism, is called shock therapy, and it was introduced by USA and allies. So shock therapy was a very difficult thing. And one thing also I would like to mention here, there's a phrase called, and many questions come in board from this phrase, the big garage sale. The big garage sale means uh, all the industries, I have already told you, and you might be on board with that, that all the industries in communist system are government owned, and in capitalist system they are privately owned. So in this shock therapy, all the government owned industries were put on sale to the private individuals, and they were the people of USSR were offered some erstwhile USSR, now Russia, were offered some tokens. Tokens means this amount of money, this token container, you can use it for buying your daily essentials or anything that you like, right? So the common people didn't have money, but the money lied with the people who were in a good status in erstwhile USSR. So they made their own groups, and they were called the mafias. The word mafia originates from here, and the mafias bought all the industries, and the money and the power again got concentrated into a few hands, the mafias, who bought all the government industries that were put to sale. And this is called shock therapy. Shock therapy means giving no time to adjust, a complete transition, immediate transition, instantaneous transition from communism to capitalism. Right? The people aren't ready. That doesn't matter. The system isn't ready. That doesn't matter. But the USA was in hurry to make a transition because it wanted to create a world that is USA world, that is a unipolar world, that is a capitalist world with USA as its leader. Right? So this is shock therapy. Now, after independence, many countries saw problems. These 15 republics that have got independence saw very big problems. Like in Russia, two parts of Russia, Dagestan and Chechnya, they started a civil war. They revolted against their government. They didn't want to become the part of Russia. They wanted to secede. They wanted to become different states. Then there were problems in Tajikistan and Turkmenistan and Azerbaijan. There were civil wars, and the people wanted different governments for themselves. And there were dictatorial regimes initially for 10 years, 20 years in these countries. So these small problems, they became big later, also took place in all these 15 republics. But USA proved its supremacy by sending its troops and NATO forces to these countries and helping the leaders, the dictatorial leaders, to go on the situation and to bring it under control. So USA, now the world is unipolar. USA has kept and everybody under its palm. Everybody under its palm. Right. So it is USA world now, a unipolar world. Now, I'm coming to the last of this chapter, that is India's relation with the CIS countries. India has very good relation with the CIS countries like Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan, and one of the main products that India imports from them is oil, that is petroleum. So India maintains a very good relationship with them, and India has been helping them in humanitarian arenas, in whenever they are in trouble, monetary trouble. Now, India-Russia relation, we all know India and Russia share a wonderful relationship. Initially, India and USSR, and now after 1991, India and Russia, they have collaborated in space technology, they have collaborated in nuclear weapons, they have collaborated in social upliftment of people, they have collaborated in media technology and space explorations, they have collaborated in arms treaties, right? And Indian film actors like Raj Kapoor and Devanand and Indian film songs are so common and so light in CIS countries as well as in Russia. So, if between 19 broadly between 1945 to 1991, the world was a bipolar world. After 1991, the Soviet system, the Soviet Union disintegrated, and now the world became unipolar. Right. Unipolar means USA and company. So this is the end of bipolarity. That is also the title of your chapter. So I try to make it quick. I know, and due apologies to you. There might be questions, there might be queries, but it's better after listening to this lecture, you also open your textbook and just flip the pages and see if compare this video with the book, and then you'll be understanding the things better, right? So this is all for today. So this was a brief summary. It's not a summary actually. I've taken all the topics. So here we complete the second chapter of the book, Contemporary World Politics. And now I'll try my level best to send you some written material as well. So good day. Spend time with family. Be careful. Keep social distancing. Be your face covered in mask, and keep learning. God bless you all.